All right, I know you guys in the US are asleep at the moment, but you are you are in store for a shock when you wake up and see this massive pump in Bitcoin, right? Look at that. So Bitcoin did that dip to liquidate a whole bunch of people before Trump inauguration, and look at that pump. So if you've put on leverage the night before and got involved with the epic liquidation event, yes, look at that liquidation event. And look at that vertical, oh, look at that vertical, beautiful God candle, right? Anyway, so now we're back at 108. Oh man, I can't but feel sorry for people who lost money yesterday. I basically sat out the whole Trump coin, Melania coin thing for two reasons. First of all, it was Sunday, and mostly on Sundays, I go for my walk. I might do a walk video. But apart from that, I hardly even ever look at crypto at all. I relax, I chill, and have a good time, usually watching some brainless show on Netflix or something like that. But, you know, this morning I woke up and I had a look at the news, looked around at, you know, what's happening with crypto, opened my computer, and I saw this massive calamity that took place yesterday. And I was aware of Trump coin, right? But I didn't buy in. I missed out on Trump coin because I had no idea it was coming out. It was kind of all of a sudden. And, you know, people that made money. People that lost money in this liquidation event lost a heck of a lot of money. And then I heard that Melania Trump dropped hers as well. Oh, my goodness. And that sucked the liquidation out of the Trump coin. And that might even be what triggered this event yesterday. I don't know. Maybe more news will come out later as to what exactly happened. That's usually what happens later in the day, later in the week. We'll find out what happened. But, you know, if you're holding spot like I am, I would have gone to bed with Bitcoin at 106, 105.8, and I would have woken up with it at 108. So it looks like, you know, did a 3,000 pump. I would have completely missed this whole dip, right? This whole liquidation effect. Look at that. That looks like a lake or something, and, you know, high ground, low ground lake. Loch Ness or something looks something like this, with a mountain on one side and plains on the other side. Anyway, that aside, this is a kind of lesson in, you know, being careful with leverage, etc. And this is Bitcoin. Can you imagine what happened to altcoins? Even XRP. Let's have a look at XRP. XRP sort of did something similar, did a little bit of a dip, and then just came back out again. It's even higher than it was yesterday night. I saw a few of your messages saying that XRP was plummeting, and in my head, I just figured, well, Bitcoin must be doing something silly, and the market is just following suit, and this is exactly what happened. And now Bitcoin is back big time, XRP back even bigger. Now, this whole Donald Trump, Melania Trump meme coin saga, which took place on Solana, basically showed us two things. First of all, Solana isn't really ready for prime time, guys. Solana experienced a little bit of sluggishness in response to the amount of traffic, the amount of sudden traffic that came onto the platform because of people wanting to buy and sell, you know, FOMO in, take profits, blah, blah, blah. So Solana kind of showed a little bit of sluggishness, right? It didn't go out, I don't think, but it did exhibit sluggishness, which kind of points out to the fact that, you know, will Solana crash again in the bull run? Nobody knows. I think Solana is going to do well because nobody cares that Solana's actual blockchain isn't up for prime time. And they've sort of got this kind of pass. It's kind of weird. If this were to happen with XRP, everybody will lose their minds, right? Anyway, I made a video 3 days ago that I didn't release because, you know, with crypto things, a lot of it is topical and it becomes stale very, very quickly. So if you don't release a video and it's a day or a couple of days late, might as well just make a different video and not, you know, people have forgotten about it and moved on, right? But because of this event, I think it's a little bit apt to have a quick look at that video. So I'll play that video now, or portions of it, and then I'll do a little bit of commentary afterwards. I wanted to show you the power of the alt season and how some people make an amazing amount of money, just like finding lucky coins, right? Now, look at this coin. In the past 48 hours, it did something like a 6 or 7x within 2 days, right? It's cooled off now, but if you look at what it's doing, this is the 1 hour chart, right? It's forming a wedge, right? And that could do one or two things. That could break out upwards and do another 5, 6x, who knows? Because look, the market cap is so small and the price is so tiny. So it's gone from 0.002 to 0.015, which is, it's more than a 6x. It's something like a 7 or 8x, right? It did in 48 hours. This is XCN. Now, a lot of people suddenly started talking about this on social media. I'm sure you probably heard of it now. And people are FOMOing in really badly. And I think that a lot of it is to do with the name recognition and the X, because it looks like it's one of the XRP, XLM, XDC tokens, right? So a lot of the FOMO probably helps, right? But that's besides the point, regardless of what the actual coin is. The whole point is this sort of thing happens in the bull market, and it's usually more pronounced in, the coins that are very, very small cap, micro caps, that have even like the slightest fundamentals, right? In the bull market, stuff like this will happen. You would see coins like Pepe that have zero fundamentals, right? Just pump 500x, 1000x, 10,000x, as long as you're able to get in back in the day, right? You can see that this coin, right, has been around for a little bit. This is probably when it was released at some point. It's still not at all-time highs, obviously. But the fact that, it could suddenly just do this, this is the bear market, of course. So when I zoom and it pops up like that, it's because the scale isn't as compressed, right? But if I go for the maximum, you can see that, look at that. So, the people that got in 2003 during the bear market, whatever, did a little bit of pumping there, probably some news surrounding it. Some people bought around here and just forgot about the coin, right? Suddenly, they open their wallets and they're 15x up or whatever. And this is what happens. This is the power of crypto and the power of finding micro caps when they're very tiny, when they're unknown. And if you're lucky, if they have some fundamentals. And the thing about micro caps is a lot of them fail, right? I'd say 90% of all micro caps fail, if not 99%. The ones that succeed don't necessarily depend on fundamentals or any of that. A lot of it is just luck, name recognition, something happens and people FOMO, and then it just kickstarts some sort of cascade, and then it just shoots up. Now, what usually happens when this happens, right, is like the founders, the ones that usually would have more coins than anybody else, the very early investors, they sell, they get out of, of the token around there, right? Because, XEN, no one knows what it is. There's no guaranteed future. Unlike, say, XRP, Bitcoin, that have been around for a while and people know what it is. And it's, it's been through a bunch of bull markets, whatever. Most people would sell. And even if they believe in the token, this is a rare opportunity for a micro cap. And most people would sell and get out that have, purchased the coin earlier on and made a 15x. So most people would exit that and put their coins in like Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that, right? And then they'll just ride the bull market. They might leave some, some people might, sell half, 70%, leave 30%, whatever. But the majority of them will exit. Now, are there people FOMO in here? Yes, of course. That's why the price is going up. But those people are serving as exit liquidity for the early adopters. That's pretty much what's going on here, which is why I would never buy into a coin that is pumped 500x in a couple of days or something like that, because I'll be serving as exit liquidity for those people making that 500x gains. Even if it's showing signs of, I'm not going to lie, this chart is printing a pretty bullish pattern. It looks like it's going to go again, not financial advice, your own research. So I'm not surprised that people are FOMOing into it like right now. And the cap is small enough and the price is small enough for it to do another maybe 20x even in this bull market, whatever it is. Now, to caveat that, I haven't bought a single token. And I'm doing this just cold, right? I haven't done much research into XCN. So I might be talking complete nonsense, right? And I'm probably going to get a lot of people in the comments telling me I don't know anything at all. And you'd be right. I really don't know anything at all about XCN. But I'm talking about, any generic sort of low cap coin that's behaving like this. I, on purpose, did not research XCN so that I can make a video talking about it in exactly this fashion without any sort of emotional attachment, or like if I did a little bit of research now, I suddenly found that it has a future, then I'd be saying different things, if you know what I mean. So this is just generically. And I just picked this token because it suddenly popped up on social media and it's in everyone's consciousness and it's kind of trending at the moment, right? Unless I do some research and I realize that, I don't know, this is going to be the new coin of British Airways or something like that, some random stuff like that, right? Then I might even at this point buy some, right? Like for instance, you can argue that XRP's pumped quite a lot recently, that based on that people shouldn't buy XRP. But we know, again, that XRP is just starting because it's got a big future. We can see the upside, etc. So there's some story behind it, right? And based on that story, I would still buy XRP, even though the chart might even look similar to this. But this just seems to me, again, without any research, as a coin that has pumped on maybe name recognition. Maybe it's just in the correct category and people have found it as an opportunity. But what's happening here, you know, this up and down, you're seeing people are getting out that bought all the way back here. And I'm not about to be someone exit liquidity. Not financial advice, of course, do your own research, but you know, some people are about to make a lot of money. So for instance, a way that someone could make money out of this, again, not financial advice, you're very likely going to lose everything you've got. So never trade with money that you can't afford to lose. Somebody might see this wedge and put $100 on this. Maybe, you know, that's nothing for them, you know, chicken change, and put a 10x on it, for instance, so that if it were to go once again, they will reap the benefits. I believe this coin is listed on Coinbase. That may have something to do with its pump. I don't know when it was listed on Coinbase, but it was listed on Coinbase. So that might be in a Coinbase listing that made it pump. Who knows? But you can't do leverage trading in the same way or at all on Coinbase, the same way you can do on platforms like MEXC, which is what I'm looking at it right now. So on MEXC, you could just access the futures for this coin and put 400x on it if you want. Now, you're probably going to lose your money if you put 400x leverage on a token like this. But, you know, who knows? That might pop. It might just be, it's a lottery ticket. It's gambling, right? And you might end up becoming a millionaire overnight. And it's very, very possible with these microcaps. Talking about MEXC, I'm an affiliate and the link is always in the description. If you click on it, you get taken to a special page that enters you into a $20,000 draw or something like that. If you deposit and trade on MEXC, then you're in to win a $20,000 bonus. I think that's what it is. So moments after making that video, on that same day, it did sort of slightly break downwards from that wedge that I was talking about. But that was the 30-minute chart. So what happened afterwards? This is XCN today. This is the 1 hour chart. You can see that it actually eventually did dip all the way down to what looks like 0.8 of a cent, which is quite a big of a dip, you know, coming from nearly 2 cents all the way down to, you know, 0.8 of a cent, right? Now, at this point, had I seen that dip, again, I wasn't looking at crypto, then I may have bought in at that point if this was a coin that I was interested in, right? I wouldn't FOMO in up here that everybody was FOMOing in because I know that's where the developers, you know, the people that got in early, just like the developers of the Trump coin and the Melania coin and all that sort of stuff, they dump at the very first pump that you get, which usually is the highest for a long time. They dump around there. Then they themselves might buy back in around here-ish, right? So they wait for that frenzy to cool off and then they buy in. This might not be it. It might still dump again. This recovery might just be because the market is coming back pretty hard and a lot of people are jumping back in again and they see the FOMO started again. Again, I wouldn't buy here. It's already past my buy point. I'd wait for it to maybe cool off again to around here-ish. Not financial advice, your own research. This might just go to a million X tomorrow. Who knows? But it's just a little bit too risky for me now. If I look at the rest of the chart, just the downside looks more than the upside. It's just me. Again, I might be wrong. So will I be touching Trump coin, Melania coin? I've already missed the boat. So I'm just going to not touch them. You could, obviously, not financial advice, your own research. But maybe after the inauguration and the frenzy dies down a little bit and, you know, we get a 50% correction or something like that, on top of that 50% correction that we already have, then I might throw a little bit at it. I definitely won't be coming anywhere near this stuff with leverage because that's the fastest way to lose your money in crypto. Not financial advice, your own research. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.